Okay, guys. Okay. How have you all been? तो गाइस वापस स्वागत है आपका. वेलकम माय डियर फ्रेंड्स. वेलकम. Let me just check this. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, guys. Wish you a very good afternoon. Can you all hear me, guys? Yeah. Lovely. Okay. Okay. So, guys, yesterday we started. Okay. So, guys, yesterday we started with the introduction. Correct. Switch on your videos. Come on, guys. Come on. Give your 100%. Give your 100% so that I can give my 100%. Come on, guys. Let's do it. Guys. Come on. So, guys, yesterday we started off with introduction to taxes, and there is a small part with respect to understanding the model in which GST works. We need to understand that. Where does it get inspired from? We need to understand that, guys, and then we will directly go ahead and do charging section. Right? Correct. Okay. क्या बात है? Varsha ji is all the way from some agricultural land. She's coming all the way from some Khet Khalian. Okay. Love seeing that. The love for the nature that she has. Okay. Guys, I want you all to be visible. If you are not visible, I put you in the waiting room, period. And I don't repeat myself. Right? We have a YouTube live. You can definitely join there. कोई दिक्कत नहीं उसमें. Okay, guys. So all the viewers out there in the YouTube live, you can keep commenting, guys, so that I can keep a track of whether you all are understanding or not. Period. Right. Okay. So yeah, let's start with the vivas. Okay. Unmute yourself, guys. फटाफट से. Unmute yourself. You know the rules. Be careful. Think about what you speak. एक बार मौका दिया जाएगा आपको. Okay, once a chance. That's it. Okay. So, guys, very simple questions. For example, okay. Mansi, Ratika, Megar, Aditi, Akshata, Manisha. Switch on your videos, guys. Yeah. Okay, lovely. शशि, या नाइस. अभी यार तुम लोग को डालना पड़ेगा बेटा वेटिंग रूम में. रुको एक सेकंड, मैं डालता हूँ. ओके. कहाँ है इस पे मीटिंग? पुटिंग मीटिंग में, रतिका
Unable to switch on.
क्या हुआ?
Sir, I'm unable to switch on my camera because of some restriction. Wait, I have to do the setting for that.
अच्छा तो कर दो सेटिंग यार, क्या दिक्कत है?
Yes, sir.
You have all the time, right? Let's do it. Okay. So guys, फटाफट से नैना, tell me, for example, tell me one thing. For example, if I'm importer of goods, right, and I'm talking about right now, let's say right now in 2023, if I want to import goods, okay, which are the two taxes or and duties that I will have to pay to the proper officer, to the custom officer? Only then will he be allowing me to take the goods off the custom station.
So the two taxes would be basic customs duty and GST.
Absolutely lovely. Okay, can you tell me the taxes that you used to pay previously?
Taxes, okay, so you had to pay BCD, and that is basic customs duty. You had to pay CST, you had to pay excise duty and VAT.
No, I'm talking about what an importer was supposed to pay initially.
Oh,
So
initially, so you had to pay basic customs duty.
and apart from that, if you remember the other two,
I don't recollect that. Sorry.
if you could recollect the fact that which were those taxes which were replaced by excise and VAT? Anything? आपने पहला जवाब तो दे दिया है, so I will exempt you from that, but still.
मतलब सर आप पूछ रहे हो जो सब्सिडी हो गई जीएसटी?
हाँ माने आईजीएसटी के पहले क्या लगता था?
अच्छा, ओके, तो उससे पहले तो लगता था अपना एक्साइज ड्यूटी।
नहीं, इम्पोर्टर की बात कर रहा हूँ। इम्पोर्टर क्या पे करता था, तो बकायदा ट्रांजिशन समझाया था मैंने। यस, इट्स सीवीडी एंड स्पेशल सीवीडी।
ओह अच्छा, यस ओके।
काउंटरवेलिंग ड्यूटी एंड स्पेशल काउंटरवेलिंग ड्यूटी। मैं भूल गया हूँ एक्चुअली, कल वो भेजना, तो मैं आज भेज देता हूँ। सो इन केस इफ यू वांट टू जॉट इट डाउन, यू कैन जॉट इट डाउन। माय मिस्टेक। तनिष्का, वेयर आर यू फ्रॉम बाय द वे? नैना
सर एक्चुअली ये मेरी कजिन सिस्टर की आईडी से जॉइन किया है।
That is fine.
एक्चुअली
Where are you?
मुंबई।
Oh, okay. Okay. What's your good name? Kishori.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Actually,
Kishori.
next time I'll join from my ID. Today ये लैपटॉप में
कोई
था, तो
दिक्कत
इससे ही लॉगिन हो गया।
Tanishka Gupta, tell me. You're from Mumbai, Tanishka?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tanishka. Tell me what. So, for example, if I am selling tobacco to you, right? Which are the two taxes I will charge you?
Central excise duty and GST.
What about Indian hemp and opium and narcotics?
State excise duty and GST.
Perfect. Varsha Purohit, tell me one thing. GST council का composition बताइए कि who are basically the people in GST council?
Chairman.
Chairman, but who is the chairman? Who is the chairman?
Central party. नहीं, central नहीं।
अरे ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, इजी है ये तो यार वर्षा, कम ऑन, इट्स वेरी इजी।
सर इजी है।
अरे वर्षा जी इज फ्रॉम गुजरात, डेफिनेटली। यस,
Actually, my in-laws stay there.
ओके।
In-laws.
Tell me Varsha, otherwise you are going for YouTube live
My
today.
in-laws is in Gujarat.
Okay, fine, Varsha, fine. Good,
No,
nice.
sir, no.
We will talk about that later, but now you give me this answer first. GST Council, tell me who are the three people that we spoke about. फटाफट ही आंसर दो।
एक चेयरमैन था।
चेयरमैन कौन होता है?
लोकसभा का।
लोकसभा का?
सभा और राज्य।
अरे हम लोग टैक्सेस की बात कर रहे हैं, टैक्स कौन कलेक्ट करता है यार? कौन सी मिनिस्ट्री में आता है?
सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट
बराबर, पर उसको रिप्रेजेंट कौन करता है? बेटा रिवाइज करके आना। ओके, नेक्स्ट टाइम। ओके, यस। चलो यूट्यूब पर जाओ। सॉरी वॉरी का ही नहीं बेटा, यूट्यूब। बाय। ओके। डाल दिया उनको यूट्यूब पे. नेक्स्ट भव्य कुमार फटाफट से कम ऑन.
Yes, sir.
कॉम्पोजिशन बताओ. टेल मी द.
So, Union Finance Minister,
Yeah.
State Finance Minister, and Ministry of State Finance.
Correct. Also tell me what is the quorum required.
50%.
Okay, of the total members present. पूरा बोला करो.
हाँ.
Okay,
50%
complete the
of the
question. हाँ. Second is what is the majority required?
In the central government, it's 1/3, and in the state, it is 2/3 of the total votes casted.
But what percentage? 50%, 75, 100,
It was 75%.
75%. Yes. Good. You have been lucky. Okay. Yes. Rajvi, tell me. Rajvi, look up, Rajvi.
Yes, sir.
Rajvi, give me 4 matters where GST Council recommends something.
Tax rate. उसके बाद it was tax rate
Come on.
I'm not sure.
हाँ तो बोलना क्या फर्क पड़ता है. Any which ways you will go wrong. What else will happen at the most?
टैक्स रेट्स था. उसके बाद which मैटर कौन से आने चाहिए.
Matters कौन से आने चाहिए? That's what clearly we are discussing. Which matters will come here?
हाँ.
And you are saying, come on.
I'm not able to get it.
Come on. How can you give up on this? This is simple. एक और क्वेश्चन का क्या है, आपको जीवन दान दिया जाता है. One more question is being asked. Tell me one thing. Interestingly, मैं भी देख लेता हूँ क्या है पूछने जैसे. Okay, tell me 3 central taxes and 3 state taxes which are subsumed in GST.
Okay, so state taxes is lottery, then entertainment tax, then VAT, and one more one lottery, one more L was there, luxury tax.
Okay.
And central tax was excise, then customs, excise.
Customs subsumed. I said subsumed in GST.
Subsumed in GST in from central, right, sir?
Yes.
That is CST.
Yes.
Excise duty.
Yes.
And one more is one more is there.
Which tax are we studying?
GST
Okay.
right now.
Correct. What is the full form of GST?
Goods and service tax.
Correct. So goods पे क्या लगता था पहले?
Goods पे manufacturing वाला कुछ था.
Which is excise duty.
Excise duty.
And service पे क्या लगता है?
सर्विस पे
क्या लगता था?
सर्विस टैक्स.
और क्या लगेगा यार? बराबर से फिर भी पढ़ो राजवी. These are bad answers.
So actually I'm a CS executive student.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter. How does that matter? I don't give a damn about that. You have sat for the lecture. You need to know that if that is in your portion. Otherwise, you don't sit for the lecture. Period. And why are you considering yourself less than a CA interest to a CA interest student?
No, sir.
Just because TVF has not done a series on you?
No, sir, not that.
But I'm really looking forward for that. Let's see what half C has to offer. Let's see how it works out. Okay. Then Nikita Bajaj, kalo fatapat se tell me 4 matters of GST Council. Tell me.
Taxes to be subsumed, threshold limit, goods and service to be exempted, and
Rates. And also things like principles of levy, kitna fir apportionment hoga, right? All of that. Okay. Apportionment of IGST and all of that. Makes sense? Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that's it. And yeah, that's it. Now, the last drishti, tell me any five taxes which are not subsumed in GST.
Property for motor vehicles, then countervailing duty, stamp duty, property tax, and
Stamp duty, एक सेकंड वापस बोलो. Stamp duty, property tax,
tax on motor vehicles, countervailing duty,
countervailing duty. No, I asked taxes which are not subsumed in GST.
entertainment for local authorities,
Nice.
entertainment tax for local authorities, and stamp duty.
हो गया बस. पर why would you say CVD? Do you know what CVD is?
Countervailing duty
Yeah, don't give me the full form, but what is it exactly?
is just like instead of using some other taxes, this is just a compensating tax.
Which is it? Which tax is it compensating?
VAT.
Excise,
Excess.
right? And special CVD compensates VAT. ठीक है? Okay, we can read better next time, and yeah, we can come up with better answers next time. ठीक है? I hardly have anything to ask. But yeah, that's it. That sums up the entire part of GST. Yeah, so most importantly, I'm sorry I didn't ask this. I'm so sorry. Apurupa. Yes, Apurupa. Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Apurupa, where are you from?
I'm from Andhra Pradesh,
Okay, which city?
Vishakhapatnam.
क्या बात है, Vizag. Nice. Good to know this. Lovely. So Apurupa, tell me, if I am in Mumbai and you are in Vizag, and if I am delivering goods to you, what tax will I charge?
IGST,
Yes, because the supply is between
two different states.
two different states. Perfect. Right? And you said you are in Andhra Pradesh, right? Correct. Now tell me one other city of Andhra Pradesh.
Sir?
Except Vizag, which is the other city? Kochi. Kochi is in Andhra Pradesh.
No, sir.
Then tell me some other city of Andhra Pradesh.
Okay, Vijayanagaram.
Vijayanagar. Okay. So if I am in Vijayanagar and you are, for example, in Vizag, what will I charge you?
SGST.
Bus. Only one?
CGST.
Only one?
No, SGST and CGST.
हाँ, तो please complete, beta.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
SGST and CGST.
CGST. Perfect. Okay. Then Akshata. Where are you from, Akshata? Tell me. No, I can't hear you actually. I can't hear you.
Can you come now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. I'm from Maharashtra, Sangli.
Oh, nice. Sangli. क्या बात. Very nice. I'm glad. Yeah. So many people from like outskirts and different parts of India have joined. Fantastic. So Akshata, tell me if, for example, I am in Delhi. You are also in Delhi. What will I charge you?
Then the UPGST.
No, that's incorrect. You will have to pay.
SGST, I'm sorry, SGST.
Why are you saying just incomplete answers? Tell me what are the taxes that I will charge you. It is just SGST, that's it. SGST. So GST rate is 18%. What will I charge you? If GST rate is 18%, what percentage will I charge you? Which tax? If I am in Delhi, you are in Delhi. Will I charge you SGST 18%? What is it? UTGST, IGST, CGST, what will I charge you?
SGST 50% and
The rate of GST is beta 18%. The rate of GST is 18%.
9% CGST and 9% SGST.
Okay. What if I tell you that I am in Pondicherry, you are in Pondicherry?
the thing.
What if I tell you I'm in JNK, you are in JNK?
9% then, JNK, yeah, same thing again. 9%.
What if I tell you I'm in Chandigarh, you are in Chandigarh?
Then 9%. No, UTGST in that case.
CGST and UTGST.
CGST and UTGST, yes.
Correct. Okay. Aditi, tell me all the union territories where CGST and UTGST will be levied.
So first, Andaman and Nicobar, then Lakshadweep, then Ladakh, Chandigarh, and Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar.
Perfect. So if I'm in Dadra Nagar Haveli and you are in Diu Daman, then
Oh,
what will I charge?
CGST and UTGST.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, guys, that's it. That is good enough. Yeah, that's nice. Chalo, fantastic. Still, I would really want you all to start gearing up and give me better answers. I want it at the tip of your tongue. Like, फटाफट आना चाहिए. ठीक है? Make sure that you give time to GST as much as you can, guys, because understand that you are spending 3 hours or 2 hours with me clearing your concepts, right? And there is no point if you are not revising it within 24 hours, because it will vanish away any which ways, right? So make sure my dear friends, that you do this, because the entire point of revision will just be defeated. It will be absolutely of no use. And if you want this, jot down. एक ही तो page है. There's just one page. Just jot it down if you want. If you think that you cannot remember stuff. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Okay, ठीक है. So that's it, my dear friends. That's all I wanted to say. चलो. Now heading towards the second part. Let's do it. Okay. We need to understand how does the GST model work. We need to understand what is output tax, what is ITC, right? And that is what clearly, my dear friends, we are heading at. Okay, what is VAT? Okay, and what is sales tax? Let's try and understand, guys. Let's try and understand. Okay, so right now we are focusing on sales tax, right? So sales tax was levied when I used to sell goods within the state. So if I'm in Mumbai, you are in Pune. If I'm in Mumbai, you are in Pune. Simple. I will charge you CGST, SGST. Initially it was VAT, and before VAT it was sales tax. So the trajectory goes like sales tax, VAT, GST. Sales tax, VAT, GST. Okay. Fair enough. ठीक है. Let's do it फटाफट से. So here the manufacturer used to sell goods to the wholesaler. Wholesaler will sell it to the retailer. Retailer will sell it to the consumer. Fair enough. Makes sense. Okay. Now let's start with cost. Cost is 1000. Profit is at the rate 20%. 200, 1200 is the selling price. Okay. Next is sales tax at the rate 10%, making it to 120. 1320. Fair enough. Now this is cost to wholesaler. Is this computation easy? Right? Very simple. Manufacturer has a cost. How does that cost arrive? DMDLOH. Okay, direct material, direct labor, overheads. He adds up. That comes down to 1000. He adds profit to add 200 to 1200 is the selling price. Sales tax is at the rate 10%, 120. Cost to wholesaler is 1320. Perfect. Yes. Now this is the amount he bills to wholesaler. If wholesaler wants goods from manufacturer, he needs to pay 1320, and he does that. He pays 1320 to manufacturer. manufacturer keeps with himself 1200, right? And 120 he had collected in the form of sales tax, and which is why the entire amount, my dear friends, will be paid to government. Got it? Because you've collected it in the name of selling price. No, you have collected it in the name of sales tax. So whatever amount you collect from the recipient in the form of tax, you directly remit it to the government. As simple as that. Doesn't make more sense than this. Okay, fantastic. Okay, if he has remitted 1320, that means his pocket has got emptied by 1320. Simple. So his cost will be 1320. Profit, we will keep the same 20%. That's 264. Selling price comes to 1584. Then comes sales tax at the rate 10%, 158. Okay, 0.4, keep the change. Okay, cost to retailer, that is 1742. Okay, retailer has to give 174 to the wholesaler keeps with himself 1584. 158 the wholesaler will remit to government. 158. Retailer's cost amounts to 1742. The profit he makes is of 348 and selling price is 2090. Sales tax is 209. Cost to consumer is 2299. Consumer remits 2299 to the retailer keeps with himself 2090, and finally retailer remits to the government 209. So the final amount that stays with government is 487, and the final cost to consumer is 2299. That's almost 2300. Okay, make sense? Proper? ठीक है? Okay. So here, is there any doubt here in this space? Do you have any doubts here, friends? Make sense? Okay, proper. Sure, done. Now that you all have understood how the trajectory of the entire sum was, it's important to understand where this system had faltered. Where did this system falter, guys? Here. If you can see it properly, this is 1320, and out of that 120 is what you already have in the form of sales tax. So that finally gets carried down to selling price, and then again on that selling price is levied sales tax. So here we have tax on tax, and that is what we call the cascading effect, my dear friends. What do we call it? The cascading effect, where you have tax on tax, which is incorrect because that leads to inflation of price. Same happens here, 1742. So if you do the breakup of 1742, it comes from 1584, 158. Fair enough, 158 is sales tax. Then the other amount is absolutely correct. 1584 mein we had 120, so there is also 120 present out here. I hope this is very clear, my dear friends, that both of these taxes are what? Sales tax. Again, they are a part of the cost. And if it is a part of the cost, it will be a part of selling price, and eventually again on that selling price you levy sales tax, and again you do the same thing. There is cascading effect again. Do you get that? Perfect. Now that leads to inflation of prices. So only one person is benefiting out of this entire arrangement, and that is the government, because they are not getting tax on value of goods, on sheer value of goods. They are also getting tax on the tax component that they have inserted in the cost. And this is incorrect, because I'll tell you what was happening. Since there was tax on tax, there was inflation in the price, and then finally what happened, guys? I'll tell you something. The goods, the domestic goods that were costing, that came to 2300. And the same goods, if I start purchasing it from outside India, they were costing me, after paying all the customs and all the duties, just 2000. Obviously, people will start buying from outside India. Right? Now, what is the game plan? Tell me. What is the game plan? Obviously, the demand will shift from India to outside India, and this is the inflection point where government had to decide that whether they keep continuing with this flawed taxation system or they rather switch to a newer form of taxation system in the name of VAT. In the name of VAT. Right? Sir, what was the benefit of VAT? Tell me that. Very simple. You cannot see an ounce of cascading out here. Sir, how does that help? Very simple. That reduces the price to the consumer drastically. So much so that it falls down below 2000. So if I'm purchasing from outside India, it's at 2000. If I now switch from sales tax to VAT, the cost to final consumer falls down below 2000. Obviously, the demand will never go outside India. It will stay in India. Let's see, how did that happen? What were the changes that the Indian government did to implement VAT? And on the entire basis of VAT, okay, GST is implemented, guys. So entire system of output tax minus ITC comes from VAT. Okay, so even in GST, we have a similar concept, right? Where there is output tax, there is ITC. Right now, I'm not explaining why GST came and how GST came. I'm not even going there, and I will not go there. I will go there after a few lectures. Right now, I want to give you comfort, I want to give you confidence, and I want you to hear what you can digest. So just be with me, right? You will understand eventually everything. That is my promise, right? So right now, all I want to tell you is how the GST system got inspired from the VAT taxation system, right? We will follow the same route: manufacturer selling it to the wholesaler, wholesaler selling it to the retailer, retailer selling it to the consumer. Okay, what about the cost? We will keep it same, 1000. Profit, we will keep it 20%, 200. Selling price, we will keep it to 1200. Plus, what will happen, guys? Tell me. We will charge VAT at the rate 10%, 120, 1320. ठीक है, तो ये हो जाएगा. Now understand, this is price to wholesaler, right? This is not, so the nomenclature that I used here was cost, and here the nomenclature that I'm using is price. Why that? I'll come to that. Listen. So the price that manufacturer has quoted to the wholesaler is 1320. So eventually wholesaler will have to pay 1320 to the manufacturer. Manufacturer obviously will keep with himself the selling price 1200, and 120 VAT will be remitted to by the manufacturer to the government. Sir, but the same thing happened even in the sales tax regime, sir. Sir, can you see this, sir? 1320, 120, 1320, 120. Sir, same to same, sir. Sir, then why is this different, sir? And how is it different? It is not different when it comes to manufacturing. You will see the changes from the wholesalers, and because cascading also started from wholesalers. Cascading started from here, guys. It started from here. You will see the change from here only. Am I making sense? Apurupa, Bhavya, yes? Bala, I would want to see your face. Ratika, Sarvesh, Madhuhari, Sai. Don't you dare switch off your videos. Okay? Listen up. Now, what will happen here, guys? Wholesaler. So understand, now wholesaler is about to write his cost. Wholesaler is about to write the cost. Okay, and what will he write eventually? What do you think? What will he write? The amount that he has paid. Simple math. That's what we've taught in costing, right? Right? So he will write 1320. And he did write 1320. But that's where, my dear friends, government came into picture and said, no, you cannot do that. Sorry, Sai Karthika, if your ears are banging. But I had to be loud. Because government say you cannot do this, you bloody cannot do this. God damn it. How dare you write 1320? Because if you are writing 1320, you are exactly replicating the sales tax system. Then what is the change? Just the name. Just the name. Sales tax and VAT. So the change is in form, the change is not in substance, right? That's what we wanted to change, right? That's what government communicated the wholesaler and asked the wholesaler to write the cost not at 1320 but rather at 1200. Yes, that's the cost they asked him to write. Now the wholesaler argues in a very wise manner. He says, Naina, that listen government, I have paid 1320 from my pocket. I have paid 1320 from my pocket, period. Then why am I not supposed to, or why am I not allowed to write 1320 as my cost? Right? Whatever has gone from my pocket, I will write it as my cost, period, simple. Why are you asking me to write 1200 when I have incurred 1320? Please, government, please tell me. Please oblige me by informing me why. Government said, listen idiot, if you will again write 1320 instead of 1200, will the tax component of VAT still remain in the cost? Yes. Will that be again reflected in selling price? Yes. Will VAT again be levied on selling price? Yes. So again what will happen? Cascading. Why are we repeating the same history again and again? We have to revamp the taxation system, and which is why, my dear friends, we have to do something with respect to that, and which is why you cannot write 1320, you have to write 1200, because we cannot afford to add the VAT component in the cost. We cannot afford to add the VAT component that you paid on purchase in the cost. Because if that happens, cascading happens, and that is what we exactly don't want. Wholesaler said, okay, listen, I get your point, but listen, that's your perspective, right? You help me with my perspective. I am a bloody businessman. I have paid 1320. Why will I write cost 1200? Who is going to pay me 120? Your daddy. In Hindi mein tera baap. In Hindi mein it looks more like, outrageous. Yeah. So, yeah. English, subtle language. Okay. So, yeah. So, the thing is, my dear friends, very simple. The government said, okay, don't become personal now. Okay. Don't go personal now. I will only pay 120. I will reimburse you 120. When and how I will tell you. But you don't worry. That 120 that you have paid from your pocket, I will give you no matter. You don't worry. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Okay. You trust me. I am Indian government. I am not Greek government who will default. Okay. Yes. So now, neither I am Pakistan government. Yes. Not going any far. Okay. So you don't worry that 120 I will pay you, wholesaler. You don't worry. You will get that 120. You are supposed to be concerned only one thing. If you paid 1320, you need to recover 1320, my dear friends. So 1200, you add it in the cost and you recover it from your customer, and 120 you recover it from me. You get it now. I'm exactly speaking like a hereby from Gok. Kya Tarak Mehta ka ulta chashma. Okay. Yes. Now, so the government promised wholesaler that listen, 120 you will get reimbursed, don't you worry. Right now you only focus on 1200. 120 I will give you. You don't worry. Okay. Okay, Babita ji. Okay, Babita. Okay. So now you add profit to that 240. Okay. Then selling price you add 1440, then again VAT at the rate 10% you add 144, my dear friends. Then price to retailer is 1584, my dear friends. Then retailer will pay 1584 to whom? Wholesaler. Wholesaler will keep with himself how much? 1440, and VAT entire 144 wholesaler was about to give to government. That government take this 144. Simple. Upar also here. Okay. Here also what did we do, my dear friends? We collected 158, we remitted 158. We collected 209, we gave 209, right? So I am following the same rule here. I will collect 144 and I will also give 144 to government as a wholesaler. Okay, so this is what was my plan. And yeah, 144 is something, you know, that I gave it to the government. The government is like, are you an idiot? Are you an idiot? Turn around and come back again. Yes, it is true that any amount that you have collected from the recipient in the form of tax, you are supposed to remit it to me. That is absolutely true. And you are supposed to pay me 144. You are supposed to pay me 144. If you have collected 144, you pay me 144. But listen, we are not kids out here. That you will remit me 144 check and I will give you 120 check. Because do you remember? I had promised you to give you 120. While I asked you to write 1200 instead of 1320. Yes or no, friends? Yes. So now it's time that I absolutely fulfill my promise and give you 120 ka check. Right? So we will not play this check, my dear friends. That you give me 144, I give you 120. We are not kids out here. Okay, this is not second standard. This is inter CA. Right? So here, simple. You owe me how much? 144. Okay. Do one thing. Out of that 144 that you've collected from the customer and which you owe me, don't give me 144 entirely. From that 144 that you have remitted from the retailer, wholesaler, tell me, where have you got your 144 from? Retailer. So from the retailer's pocket you have taken 144. You are supposed to give me that 144. No. All of that 144 you give with yourself 120 and give me 24. Do you get that, my dear friends? So out of this 144, the retailer had given 1584, right? इसमें 144 था. So out of this 144, government said don't pay 144 to me. No. If you remember, I had already asked you that the 120 that went from your pocket, I will help you reimburse that. And how will I reimburse that? Instead of 144, you will pay me only 24, because 144 may say 120 you will keep and 24 you will remit it to me. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So do you realize that wholesaler paid 120 while he had purchased goods from manufacturer? 1200 plus 120, Akshata. 1200 plus 120. 1200 plus 120. Thana? And that is exactly the amount that he got from whom? From the retailer. So from retailer he got how much? Right? And out of that he kept with himself how much? 120. And he gave to government only 24. Okay. Now the same happened with recipient. When it came to recipient, what will be the cost that the recipient is supposed to write? 1584? No. Because if he writes 1584, what will happen? That 1584 consists of 144 as VAT. So he will only write the selling price amount, that is 1440. He will add profit to that 288. Selling price 1728. VAT हो जाएगा 172. Keep the change. Profit to consumer. Sorry, price to consumer 1900. The consumer will remit 1900. And finally, here Tell me, what is the amount that retailer will deposit with the government? Will he deposit 172 that he has collected entirely? No. Out of 172, how much will he keep it with himself? Tell me. Yes, the amount that he has given while he was purchasing goods from wholesaler, and that is how much? 144, right? So out of 172, he will keep with himself 144 and remit 28, right? So here what will happen, my dear friends, that the final amount that the government will get is 172, right? Yes, where 120 is deposited by manufacturer, 24 from wholesaler and 28 from retailer. ठीक है? Understand one thing. My question to you is, the amount that these guys have deposited with the government, have they paid from their own pockets? No. If you see it closely, okay, understand. Manufacturer had done the crime of what? Selling goods within the state, right? So he had to charge VAT. How much? On the value addition that he had done. So understand that if I'm a manufacturer of this pen was nothing before, it was zero. I added the cost, I added the profit. So 0 से 1200 का value addition is made by me. So my value addition as a manufacturer is 1200. Okay, and 1200 का 10% is 120. So as a manufacturer, I am supposed to pay 120 to government because I have done the crime of doing value addition of 120 of 1200. So I will pay that at 120. So listen, am I paying government 120? Yes. But am I paying it from my own pocket? No. I am adding up that 120 with my selling price to the wholesaler. So apart from the selling price, I am also charging the amount to him that I am supposed to pay to the state government. Do you get it? So again, do you realize that here the crime was done by manufacturer, the crime of what? Sale of goods within the state and adding value to it, right? So who is going to pay tax? Government is going to catch hold of whom? Catch hold of whom? Manufacturer. Manufacturer, give me VAT. Manufacturer passes that incidence of tax to whom? Wholesaler. So it's the manufacturer who pays the tax, but it is financed by whom? Wholesaler. Consumer nahi beta, wholesaler. Wholesale. Manufacturer की बात कर रहा हूं. I'm talking about manufacturer. Okay. So manufacturer's VAT that manufacturer pays to government is financed by whom? Sai. Is financed by wholesaler. Make sense? Yes. Okay. Now understand one thing. What about 144 now? So I will divide it into two parts, 120 and 24. Does that make sense? So here what happened? Understand. Wholesaler has already financed the VAT that is paid by manufacturer to government to the extent of 120. So obviously wholesaler will always keep that in mind, that now when he sells ahead to the retailer, he, apart from the selling price, he will recover this 120 from the retailer. And understand that even the wholesaler has done the crime of value addition to the extent of 240. So he will also have to pay that to government to the extent of 24. So now what wholesaler said is, listen, I want to make things very clear. Manufacturer ka VAT I have financed and I also have to pay that to government. Manufacturer ka VAT 120 I have financed. 24 I need to pay to government, which if I paid from my pocket will burn. I cannot afford to do that, especially when I have the benefit of an indirect tax where I can shift the burden. So I will bloody shift the burden, and I will not just shift the burden of 120, I will also shift the burden of 24. And hence I charge 144. Hence I charge 144. Got it? Yes. Okay. Yes. So do you realize now that manufacturer VAT was financed by whom? Wholesaler. And manufacturer and wholesalers VAT was financed by whom? Retailer. Now understand, retailer is already keeping that with himself, that listen boss, I have already financed the VAT to the extent of 144. And what is 144? 120 and 24. Where 120 is manufacturer's VAT, 24 is wholesaler's VAT, and since he has also done the value addition of 288, his VAT is 28 that he needs to pay to the government. So retailer said that listen, I have already financed the VAT of manufacturer and wholesaler. I also have to pay VAT to the government to the extent of 28. So all the three amounts now I will recover it from my consumer. So manufacturer VAT is financed by whom? Wholesaler. Manufacturer and wholesaler's VAT is financed by whom? Retailer. Manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer's VAT is financed by whom? Consumer. Do you get that? Perfect. So if you are a dealer, you will never pay any indirect tax from your pocket. You will always shift the burden. And the reason why consumer bones the burden of all these indirect taxes is because he is the final consumer. Understand that government can keep a tax with himself only when someone pays the tax. One man's loss is one man's gain. So government will gain only when finally someone will lose. So if manufacturer is financing it from wholesaler is financing it from retailer is financing it from consumer, then finally the music stops at consumer. Which is why he will have to bear that burden of tax. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Okay. Now, understand one thing. That here, is there any ounce of cascading that is happening here? Is there any cascading here? No. If you want to see whether there's cascading or not, just check their costs. Does the cost have any VAT component in it? And that is clearly reflected in the cost to consumer, guys. It's 1900 here, it's 2300 here. There's a drop of 400 rupees. And listen, you know who's paying the price? The government. Because here they are minting money, 487, and here is just 172. It's even less than 50%. Because there is no tax on tax. There is tax on only value addition. Do you get that, my dear friends? Yes. Now, how did government ask these people to, to make it a part of, taxation system? They said that, listen, you have to call this simple. You have to follow the system of output tax minus input tax credit. That's ITC. Right? Simple. So whatever you charge on your sale is your output tax, and whatever you have paid on your purchase is input tax. What is input? Is it coming or going? Coming. It is coming in your factory. And what is sale? Coming or going? Going. So it is out. It is output tax. Got it? Right. So output tax, my dear friends, is the tax that you charge to your customer. And what is the tax that the manufacturer had charged? 1200 pay 120. Simple. Did he have any ITC? No. 120 is what he pays. Okay. So whatever he has collected from retailer, he will pay to the government. Now, how much did wholesaler charge? 1440. Right? So 144 में से did he entirely remit the entire 144 amount? No. Did he entirely remit the 144? No. It was. Got it? And here ठीक है, make sense? Out of 172, I will keep with myself 144 and remit 28 to government. Right? The reason government is asking me to keep this amount with myself, keep it with myself. Why? Because here instead of 1320, understand, instead of 1320, government has asked me to write only 1200 as the cost. Instead of 1580, government has asked me to only write 1440 as the cost. Got it? Got it? So that means that government is telling me that I will pay you that 144. And when is that payback time? When I am supposed to remit 172, but government says no. Out of that 172, which you have got from consumer's pocket, you keep with yourself 144 and remaining pay it to me. Is that very clear, my difference? Okay. Now do one thing. Okay. Right away. It might take 5-10 minutes more. I am giving you a data. Do one thing. First copy this. Copy this. Right. Just the VAT part. Right. And then I want you to solve a small sum on that. Okay. So that the concept is cemented in your brains forever. Right. Is this visible? Okay. Lovely. Oh, there's some great participation out here. Thanks a lot, Badurul, Sneha, Mathia, and there's, yeah. Yes, Mathia, you had some doubt. Okay, done. ये भी लिख दो. अरे बोलो ना ऐसा कि थोड़ा सर थोड़ा स्क्रॉल ओवर, क्या तुम लोग ऐसा बैठ जाते हो, सच पैसिव पीपल. एनीवन फ्रॉम कन्याकुमारी यार? साई कार्तिका, वेर आर यू फ्रॉम?
Bangalore, sir.
Bangalore. Okay. Shashi?
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad.
Yes.
Nice. First attempt, second attempt?
First year.
First attempt. So, didn't you like, I just want to ask out of curiosity that didn't you like join a class for Indus CA?
Yes.
So the tax is already taught there. What is it? And you did not find it appropriate. What was it?
Sir, income tax completed, GST not exam.
GST not completed. GST is pending there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So why wouldn't you attend there and here?
I taken only group 1 coaching there. Only prepare for group 1.
Okay.
Total completed, only tax is remaining. That's why I'm reading.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, done.
Oh.
Now I want you all to do a similar sum where I'm giving you the manufacturer's cost 2000, profit at the rate 50% on cost, and VAT rate is at the rate 10%. By the way, let me tell you, you can also tally this, guys. So if you can see the value addition done here, right, by manufacturer, 0 to manufacturer, manufacturer to wholesaler, wholesaler to retailer, retailer to consumer. So here it was 1200, right? What manufacturer did, this guy did 240 and this guy did 288. So the total value addition was how much? 1728, which is why the total VAT was how much? 172. 172. Acha, the value addition done by, okay, manufacturer at 1200, VAT contributed 120, 240, 24, 288, 28. Got it? Yeah, just wanted to explain you this. There you go. I would exactly want you to solve this sum the way I have solved it this way, the VAT portion. Both the upper part and the lower part, right? Because both are equally important. Most important is the lower part where you show the taxation system, output tax minus ITC, right? Go ahead, solve it. This is the data. Okay, guys, are you done? And you should be able to tally the answers by yourself. अच्छा, आपने चैट बॉक्स में लिखा है. ओके. Okay, guys. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Mathia. Mathia, so proud of you. That's absolutely correct. Both your answers are bullseye.
675.
Yeah. 6,975
675.
is the total GST paid to government. That's perfect. That's perfect. Bullseye. Budrul giving better intricacies in terms of answers. The one that is provided by the manufacturer is 300, wholesaler 150, and retailer makes it to 225. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Badrul Nurul. Wow, you have a rhyming name. Nice. Badrul Nurul. Nice. Where are all from? Badrul Nurul, Mathia, Sneha. Tell me. दिशा मुंद्रा जी फाइनल्स का होगा, अगस्त से होगा. ओके गाइस, डन. दैट्स इट. मिला आंसर, सबको मिला. डिड एवरीवन गेट द आंसर? आई एम सो सॉरी. या, व्हाट अबाउट यू अपूरूपा? Did you get it?
Yes, sir, I got.
Yes, you got. Okay. Shashi, Tanishka, everyone. Okay, chalo. Okay, moving ahead. Are you all feeling confident now? Is that what makes sense, right? So I will just like to conclude on a simple point. Even in GST, there is a credit system. Simple, that your input tax will never be added to your cost. Okay, and which is why there will be no cascading. Right. So you know what the best part is, ahead as and when you go, it says that if you are running a business, let's say you are a manufacturer or a trader or let's say service provider, let's say I'm a service provider, right, and I have a GST registered number, right, understand that if I purchase a mobile phone where I give Chroma my GST number, right, Chroma will tell me, okay, listen, the iPhone will cost you 1 lakh plus GST at the rate 12%, 12,000, 1,12,000 will be the cost. Now understand that if I have purchased this in the name of my business, and I'm using this asset in the course or furtherance of my business, which I will obviously, right, how will I connect to students if I cannot talk to them? I need to have a phone, right? Understand that this phone will cost you 1 lakh rupees only. Why? Let's say I am charging to the students coaching fees. Let's say coaching fees is 10 lakhs. GST is at the rate 12%, that is 1.2 lakhs. Make sense? That is 11.2. Is that very clear? So what happens is that for me, I have paid an input tax of 12,000 and I am charging it to 1,20,000. Perfect hai? So do you realize how much money has gone from my pocket? 12,000. That is my outflow. What is my inflow? 120. Now am I supposed to, okay, remit exactly what amount that I've collected? So what if I've collected 120, will I give 120? No. Out of that 120, I will keep with myself how much? Array 120 I have collected from the students, no? As the coaching fees, guys. 10 lakhs I have charged as the coaching fee and I have charged 1.2 lakhs as GST to my students. So I have collected 1120 from my customer. Out of that 120 is output tax. So out of that 120 I will keep with myself how much?
12,000.
How much? 20,000.
12,000.
12,000.
12,000.
And remaining I will pay to the government. Right? So do you realize that out of this 1,20,000 which I have not, where is this 1,20,000 coming from? My pocket. I have charged it to someone, no? I have charged it to my customer, right? So it's coming from there. So out of that 120 that I'm collecting, I'm not remitting the entire amount to the government. I'm remitting, okay, only the remainder amount. So first I recover 12,000 and then I pay the remaining amount. Is that very clear? Are you all clear with this, guys? So which is why it's very much advisable that if you want to buy a phone, a laptop, anything of that sort, this is how people do a hack. Understand that this is how they get 12% discount. So if your dad is a businessman, if your brother is a businessman, if your relative is a businessman, what generally people do is, generally people ask them to buy, okay, the phone or the laptop. So for them the cost will be not 1,12,000, for them the cost will be only 1 lakh. And then what will happen? Simple. These guys will keep 1 lakh cash and take the laptop. So for example, understand, if you want a phone and I have my GST number, you will request me, sir, please, can you only purchase it from me? You order it from Amazon, right? So you will get credit of 12,000. Sir, I'm like, yes. Because I have a lot of output tax to offer, understand? I charge a lot of tax because I do a lot of sale. Hopeful in future, right? So now what will happen, my dear friends? For me, the cost is 1 lakh, right? Because I will get the ITC, I will get the input tax credit for 12,000. So my net cost is 1 lakh and I exactly ask you to give me that amount in cash and I will remit you that laptop or phone. And in my books of accounts, I will to show that laptop belongs to me only. So do this transaction with trustworthy people only, otherwise that person can file a case against you after collecting the money that this guy has my laptop, whereas it belongs to me because the bill is in my name. It generally does not happen, no one does something like that, but yes, this is how generally people go ahead with, right? Because I can get the ITC of 12,000. So next time whenever you buy an expensive thing, find a person who has GST number, but don't call me. I have a GST number, but I will not give it to you. But okay, yes. So that's how it is. Is that very clear? Because for that person, the cost is net of GST. It's net of GST, guys. Do you get it? Right? I will actually send you all guys a snapshot today on WhatsApp. On Telegram, where I actually have an Amazon business account, right? And you know how they actually show the prices? They show it that this is the normal price, then they will slash it off and then they will put another price exclusive of GST. Ruk jao, I'll just send it on the Telegram. Ek second, ruk jao. I wanted to show you right away. I just need to click a snapshot. Amazon खुला ही होगा मेरा. Yeah. There you go. Just check on the Telegram group. Can you all see it? Right, so the MRP is 69,900 inclusive of GST, right? But they have also given another rate that is exclusive GST wala rate, that's 59,237. So if I purchase and I have a GST number, I will get that credit, and the net of amount that will be as a cost to me was 59,237. But if you will go, you don't have a GST number. For you, the price will be 69,900 because you are a bloody consumer and I am not, right? Because I am showing it as if I am using it in the course or furtherance of business. Got it? That's the difference. Okay. Yes, Tanishka.
So how can you claim that ITC? You are reselling the iPhone again to somebody, no?
Correct.
Like suppose if you buy it for me, so you're not selling it to me. So
Understand. Which is why I said it's a hack that people use. So I am showing it in my books of accounts that it is my thing. And you get ITC of inputs, input service and capital goods. This we will learn ahead when we do ITC. So these are the three things that you get your ITC for, and only thing that you have to prove is that is it used in the course or furtherance of business. Simple. If you do that, you get the ITC, right? So that's how it is. Okay, guys. Yeah, that's it. That. So this is what I meant, my dear friends, with respect to the introduction part that I wanted to do, right? And the beauty of GST is, my dear friends, simple right now. For example, if I am, right, a service provider and I purchase things from a trader, so the guy will charge me CGST and SGST, let's say 1 lakh, and I will charge to my students for providing service, let's say CGST 1.5 lakh, SGST 1.5 lakh. Do you realize what will happen? CS. Okay, 1.5 lakhs. Got it? ठीक है? Done. CGST 1.5, CGST 1.5. Okay. That's it. That's how it will happen in terms of GST. Okay. The treatment of IGST right now I'm not discussing. Right now let's stick to the basics. This is how things will happen here. Okay. That's it, my dear friends. Okay. So here we are done with the introduction part of GST, my dear friends. Whatever was important, I've already taught you all, right? One simple thing that you will always remember is that if you want ITC, you will charge output tax. If you want ITC, you will charge output tax. Is that very clear? Yes. So it's very important to understand that to avail ITC, you have to charge output tax. Simple. Just keep that as a mantra that will help you every time when I explain you the logic of GST. Okay? That's it. Okay, done. Now, my dear friends, okay, going straight to the topic, understand that for that matter, any tax law, understand, is divided into three parts: levy, collection, and assessment, right? So levy, how do you levy? Very simple. First, you need to figure out that are you covered by this act or not, and that you can figure out with the help of two things: charging section and taxable event. If you satisfy both these events, my dear friends, it is established that you are definitely, my dear friends, covered under this taxation law. You are definitely covered under this taxation law, my dear friends. Very simple. And if you fall under this taxation law, no one, absolutely no one can save you from government collecting tax from you. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. Okay. So government has all the power in the world to levy and collect tax from you if you are under the ambit, okay, of the charge of that section. Got it? Right. Collection. So once it is decided that yes, you will pay tax, collection will talk about issues like, okay, who will collect? So there is concept of FCM, RCM, forward charge mechanism, reverse charge mechanism. Okay. When will he collect? So there is concept of time of supply, right? When will he collect and deposit that tax with the government, right? On what value will he collect, right? On what value will he pay tax? So for that you have a chapter called as value of supply. Acha, will he take ITC in that case? So there is a chapter called as input tax credit where they give you the basics of what are the conditions of ITC, when can you avail, when is it blocked, all of that. Okay? Then they talk about, okay, since there are a lot of taxes in GST because there is CGST, SGST, CGST, UTGST, IGST. So which tax ka credit can be availed against which output tax liability? All of that, right? All of that is taught in payment of tax. And as assessment, we have a very major thing called as returns. So here you finally self-assess yourself what is the tax liability and offer that hisab kitab, offer that books of accounts to the government, where you will state this is my outward supply, this is my inward supply, this is my output tax, this is my ITC, right? You need to give that details to the government. Otherwise, how on earth will government figure out that whatever tax you have paid is correct tax? You need to give some basis to them that this is my outward supply, this is my inward supply, this is my output tax, this is my ITC, these are my exempt supplies, these are my non-taxable supplies, this is the export that I have done, this is the interstate, this is the intrastate, this is the input tax credit that I can avail. Are you getting it, my dear friends? I need to give them these details so that they can figure out, okay, listen, according to these details, you have assessed it correctly, or according to these details, you have assessed it wrong. You need to give some details, only then the opposite person will be able to scrutinize in some way. If you don't give away any form of information on how did you on earth deduce this tax liability, how will government get to know that? So for that, you need to self-assess and give this to the government. This is my basis on which I have drawn this tax liability and I'm paying you that. You please check. If you find it correct, fair enough. If you don't find correct, send me a notice. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Done. Okay. So that's how it happens. Okay. Now, the first thing that we are going to sort out today is charging section. Okay. It is charging section. Now understand, charging section is the heart of any taxation law, my dear friends, because if you fall in the purview of charging section, the charge of that act is levied on you, and now you are definitely under the tax net. Okay, you are not leaving here, you are not leaving this room without paying this tax. Do you get that? Simple. Okay, so the charging section of, my dear friends, GST happens to be section 9. Section 9. Okay. So here we have section 9(1), 9(2), 9(3), 9(4), 9(5). Okay. Let's repeat. 9(1), 9(2), 9(3), 9(4), 9(5). Okay. Now, what does 9(1) state? Let's try and understand. Extremely simple, very easy. Let's do it. Okay. So it says CGST is levied on intrastate supply, okay, of goods or service. Just add it, of goods or service, except alcoholic liquor for human consumption, where rate is not exceeding 20% and value is under section 15, where tax is paid by taxable person, where tax my dear friends, okay, where tax is paid by taxable person. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. Okay, simple. So tell me one thing. Okay, if you need to remember 9(1), how will you remember it? Very simple. CGST is levied on what? Intra or inter? Intra. Obviously, GST is levied on what? Intrastate supply. Supply of what? Goods and services. Right? Except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So except daru at a rate not exceeding 20% on a value determined in the section 15, where tax will be paid by taxable person. So understand, my dear friends, understand. Okay, the GST rates that we have, okay, usually is we have nil rate, we have 0.25%, we have 3%, we have 5, we have 12, we have 18, we have 28. Make sense? Yes. Now understand. Here CGST is commenting Mega Nisha. Here they are commenting that CGST cannot exceed 20%. And here I've already taught you that the highest rate of GST right now is 28. Is this correct or incorrect? Am I cancelling my own statement? Am I overriding my own statement, or these are statements true to their own respect? True in their own respect. Why?
True in their own mistake.
Why, my dear friends? Because this is 14%, 14% CGST, 14% SGST. So right now, the highest CGST rate is 14%, which government can tomorrow stretch it to 20. Not beyond that, not beyond that. Do you get it? Yes. So 28%, 18% is a total tax rate. But right now, understand, we are learning which act? CGST Act. Which act? CGST Act. Okay? Understand this very simple thing. Got it? Okay? This is extremely important. We are learning, okay, CGST Act. So it's extremely important, my dear friends, to understand, right, that we will be talking only about CGST. Okay? Is that very correct? Okay. Okay, now the important part is, at a rate not exceeding 20%, value determined under section 15, where tax is paid by a taxable person. Understand that whenever you want to compute GST, there is value and there is rate. For rate they've mentioned something, and for value also they've mentioned something. That understand, don't apply this rate on any whimsical value. I will tell you on which value you are supposed to levy that rate, and that guidance is given under section 50. Is that very clear? Yes. Okay. Where tax will be paid by taxable person. Now who is this taxable person, my dear friends? Okay, please jot it down. Okay, who is this taxable person, my dear friends? Very simple. Taxable person is any person who is registered or liable to register okay under section 22 or 24. Got it? So either I am already a registered person, or either I am liable to register under section 22 or 24. Okay, if I am that kind of a person, I am a taxable person and I am supposed to pay tax in any circumstance. Okay, so here understand, here they are talking about that if you are an intrastate supplier of goods or service, intrastate supplier of goods or service, that means under 9 subsection 1, supplier is that person on whom the levy of GST, okay, the levy of GST is present. So if I tell you that supplier is supposed to pay tax, so it is as per which section? The charge of GST is under which section? Under 9(1). So as per 9(1), the charge to pay GST is on the supplier, correct? And that is also, by the way, my dear friends, called as FCM, forward charge mechanism, where supplier is liable to pay the tax. Okay, FCM is forward charge mechanism. Okay, FCM. Okay, next is 9 subsection 2, my dear friends. Okay, 9 subsection 2, tell me, my dear friends, very simple. Okay, very simple. Here they have just said that, listen boss, there are these 5 petroleum products. One is crude oil. Crude oil से पनपता है क्या दोस्तों? Petrol, high speed diesel, ATF and natural gas. These 5 products are as of now outside the purview of GST. But tomorrow if GST Council recommends, then on the recommendation of GST Council, okay, CG will notify this and will include it under GST law. But this is a long due process. Not now. Got it? Right now they are outside the purview. So right now VAT is levied. But once GST recommends and makes it a part of GST, right? Once GST Council recommends that it has to be a part of GST, GST can be levied on this. So the difference between alcoholic liquor and 5 petroleum products is that alcoholic liquor has no chance that whatsoever it will never be a part of GST. But these 5 petroleum products at least has a chance that tomorrow GST Council may consider that it forms a part of, okay, the GST family, which right now it isn't. Is that very clear? Lakshmi, Sneha, Budrul, Mathia, is everyone able to understand, guys? Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So you said that these have a chance to be covered in the GST. Prior to that, which item you said cannot be included?
अल्कोहल ना, यहाँ पे बोला ना हम लोगों ने अल्कोहल. यहाँ पे अल्कोहल के बारे में बात किया ना हम लोगों ने. Got it? Okay. Next, my dear friends, is 9 subsection 3. Come on, we are done with 9.1, 9.2, 9.1, 9.2. Now we focus on 9.3. What is 9.3? Reverse charge mechanism. What is it? Reverse charge mechanism, my dear friends. RCM in short. Okay, now what is this? What is this? And why was the need to create reverse charge mechanism? Let's try and understand, my dear friends. Okay, listen. So, tell me one thing. For example, okay, if, okay, with your help, my dear friends, tell me, with your help, which obviously you will do because I'm sure you all have subscribed, commented and liked. I can see बाला का तो मैंने देखा है, दूसरा का मुझे complain करना है. Okay, I have to complain. Go subscribe and comment, my dear friends. As I told you, it means the world to me, and the way you're showing support, you will keep continuing, and which is why in the next year itself, let's say guys, I happen to teach 1000 students. Let's say a minimum turnover of 1 CR. Not a big thing. Come on, yaar. Come on. Okay. अभी CA बने बेटा. If we become a CA, then we will make some money. No, otherwise, what is the point of becoming CA, बेटा? Right? So we will make money. And now there is GST at the rate 18%. That is 18 lakhs. Understand that I have 1000 students and I am only one. Understand? Okay. So here, just think from the perspective of government. From the perspective of government, what is viable? What is viable? Collecting 18 lakhs from one Karan Sheth sir, or collecting that 18 lakhs and dividing it amongst 1000 students? You would make whom as the person on which you will charge GST? Karan sir or students? Whom will you make responsible to pay tax? Tell me that.
Currents.
Absolutely, because current sir is one and students are many, right? So you cannot ask them, boss. You cannot ask these students to do any compliance, right? Because these are college students, and that too they are college students of commerce stream. They don't like to do any compliance. In fact, they themselves fill their exam form on the last day. In fact, they buy their exam books of college on the last day. What do you expect? What do you expect that they will do all these things? The CA crowd is still decent. You understand, other commerce students, what are they playing? 3 years they are playing GOTY, marbles. Understand? They don't do anything, they do time pass. And you will ask them to do compliance. No, you will not, right? And you will trust Karan sir that Karan sir will definitely do compliance. And which is why here we focus on FCM, where we are giving charge to the supplier to pay tax. And which is why in most of the services that is the case, where supplier is trusted and supplier is asked to pay the tax, because supplier is doing the crime of supplying goods or service. Now, understand a scenario, a different scenario though, right? Right. For example, so there are these directors that are giving service to a company. Let's say, for example, Reliance, Trends, correct? So there are 15 directors in this company, 15 directors who are giving consultation services, and in return they are getting sitting fees. Okay. Now, do you understand one thing, that there are 15 directors? Okay, one is in the specialization of finance, one is in specialization of taxation, one is a CS. Okay, one is someone like a Manish Malhotra who gives advice as to what to buy, what not to buy, which are trendy clothes, which are not. Okay, something on those lines, right? Which one will possibly be, worn by Urfi Javed, and which will, and will be worn by, Rakhi Sawant, or for that matter, I don't know, if you watch Big Boss, then Puneet Superstar, right? Correct. So all of that. What is trending right now? So do you realize here there is one Reliance Trend and there are 15 individual directors? Whom will you give the job to pay tax? One Reliance Trends or 15 directors?
Reliance Trends.
Got it? Okay. One Reliance Trends. Why? Because again, here recipient is one, suppliers are many. So you will ask that one person to pay the tax, but here that person happens to be a recipient. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear? Perfect hai? Perfect hai, guys? Right? So listen very clearly. Here you will ask the recipient to pay the tax. Why? Because recipient is one and suppliers are many. Upar supplier was one, recipients were many. So if you are in the position of the government, you will make that person in charge of paying tax, that person in charge of paying tax who's one and not many. Because that's convenient for you as government to collect tax from. Because you are getting the same amount of tax from one person. Right? And here, the thing to ponder upon is that understand that which sections have we done? 9192, 9192, 91 mein the charge is on supplier, and in 92 they talk about rubbish, they talk about these petrol and all of that goods. In 91 they have given charge to supplier. You get that? But here we want that the charge is imposed on the recipient. Here we want the recipient to pay tax, recipient to pay tax. But do you realize that such charge does not exist? Because we have only 9 subsection 1 where the charge is on whom? 9.1 mein the charge is on whom? Supplier or recipient?
Supplier.
Supplier.
But here we want charge on whom? Do we have that?
Recipient.
Do we have that section? No, which is why we created 9 subsection 3. Do you get that, my dear friends? And we told and we named it RCM, reverse charge mechanism, where you hold the recipient accountable to pay tax. Recipient pays tax. Sir, but how is this transaction exactly executed? I will show you. Listen up. I will give you an example where the same transaction, I will show you how, if it would have been in FCM, things would have panned out, and what if that the same transaction would have been in RCM, how would that would have panned out? Okay, so for example, this is FCM, this is RCM, right? Now understand, there is a supplier, there is a recipient. Now understand one thing, in FCM, who is liable to pay the tax to government?
Supplier.
Correct. And here,
Recipient.
so if supplier is supposed to pay tax to the government, do you realize he will shift the burden to the recipient? So he will charge GST 10%. Recipient will pay 1,10,000. Supplier will keep with himself 1 lakh and pay 10,000 to government. Is that very clear, guys? Acha, tell me one thing. How much did recipient lose from his pocket? How much supplier gained? How much government gained? Does that make sense? Okay. What about FCM? If the same transaction would have been here, sorry, in RCM, what would have happened? Tell me, who is going to pay tax here? Supplier or recipient to the government?
Recipient.
Tell me one thing, that if supplier is going to bill now the same amount, okay, selling price is 1 lakh. Okay, and GST rate here is also applicable at 10%. Tell me what bill amount will I sell him? 1 lakh or 1,10,000? 1 lakh or 1,10,000?
1,10,000.
Oh, 1,10,000 कैसे बेटा? Okay, listen. Let's say for example it's 1,10,000. Let's do that. Chalo. Okay, so he charges 10,000. How much is the recipient going to pay to the supplier then? 1,10,000, and then supplier will pay 10. Then how is this different from FCA? What did we ask? That recipient is supposed to pay tax to government, but you are doing the same thing here. You are doing the same thing here, and you are making supplier accountable to pay tax. Are you getting it? So here, this is not how the transaction will pan out. You will only ask him to pay 1 lakh, and you will only issue invoice of 1 lakh. Since you are not supposed to pay 10,000 to government, why will you even bill that amount? You were billing that amount to the government. You were billing that amount to the recipient only because you had to collect and pay it to the government. But are you supposed to pay to the government? No, because here the charge is not on supplier. The charge to pay tax is on the recipient. So you bill only that amount which you want, and that is 1 lakh. So only 1 lakh will be written, and here there will be a statement that in this case, ठीक है? Is that clear, guys? Okay. Okay. Now what will the recipient do? Recipient will only pay 1 lakh to the supplier, and here the recipient will pay. Is that very clear, guys? Acha, do you realize here how much does the recipient lose money from his pocket? 1 lakh or 1 lakh 10?
10,000.
Karthik, how 1 lakh? 1 lakh 10 no beta. अरे 1 lakh is given to supplier, 10,000 is giving from his pocket to the government. No यार, yellow rascal, mind it. Supplier. अरे yes or no guys? Do you realize it's the same outcome? The outcome is the same. It's just that the modus operandi is different. In case of FCM, my dear friends, I will collect it from the recipient and pay. I will collect it from the recipient and pay. But when it comes to, my dear friends, RCM, recipient directly pays. Recipient directly pays. End of discussion, and he will only land up paying the consideration amount to the supplier. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Okay. Nine four, don't worry, is not applicable to you, so chill. Okay, you directly hop on to 9.5. What is 9.5? Understand one thing. This section itself has arisen due to a technological development, right? What was that technological development, my dear friends? Let's understand. Okay, so today when you get out of your house, irrespective of wherever you live, now you don't call for the rickshaw bit. Now you directly, okay, your hands go to, my dear friends, the mobile, and they will call Ola or Uber. So you are a passenger, you will call Ola. The cab driver will be sent the information and he will follow the path. He will come to your house and he will pick you up, right? So here, can I say that it's the cab driver who has actually given you passenger transport service, and it's the passenger who has given you the fare. Is that very clear? Yes. Point is very simple. Fare is 1000, GST let's say is 5%, 50 rupees. Who am I supposed to collect 50 rupees from? You will make in charge whom? Out of these three people, whom would you make in charge? Let's say, for example, right now, understand, this is the supplier of the service, this is the recipient of service. Which are the charges that we have right now? Do we have forward charge mechanism? Yes. Whom do we make responsible in that case? Supplier, that is the cab driver. Do you think cab driver, do you think you can actually ask the cab driver to pay tax to the government, to register himself in the GST portal, to file GST returns, GSTR 1, 3B, late fee, penalty, ITC? But if that person is so educated, he will not be, he would not be sitting and driving the car. He would rather be sitting at the back side of the car, not at the front side, not in the driver's seat. Got it? Yes. So all I want to tell is, my dear friends, cab driver, no, not possible. Passenger, absolutely not possible. Will you ask the passenger to do all this every time he calls for a cab? Are you mad? Are you mad? He will say, if this is what I have to do, where firstly I have called Uber, Ola, there bloody it is showing 30 minutes, you will ask me to register, to do this, to do that, and then finally call a cab. Do one thing, I will go walking better. From Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, I will go walking better. That is good for me. All this, okay, all this fuss, okay, let it just throw out of the window. Very simple. I don't want this. Okay. So that's it, my dear friends. Passenger is also out of the game. So now the only person here remaining is Ola. But understand that we are talking about transportation of passenger services, and my dear friends, the person who's supplying is not applicable, recipient is not applicable, but the final person who is actually existing is the e-commerce operator. Can he do the compliance? Hell yes. They have great amount of funding. Okay, they have a tax cut, different staff altogether. They can definitely do all these things, right? So e-commerce operator shall pay the tax. Now I'll tell you something. How will this transaction go like? So Ola will collect 1050 from the passenger. Understand, the person who bears the burden will always be passenger, beta. So passenger से वो ले लेगा 1050. then Ola will keep with himself 50 rupees and remit 1000 to the cab driver. Do you get it, my dear friends? Are yes or no? Passenger will send 1050. This guy will keep with himself 50. Okay, that's it, my dear friends. That's it. So here the only reason we had to go to section 9 subsection 5 was because we had no option in 9.1 and 9.3. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Because we could not make the supplier accountable, neither the recipient accountable. Okay, done. Now there are other two services that are there. One is hotel accommodation and the second is housekeeping. Now understand, both function on similar routes. Okay, understand one thing. Hotel. Okay, so there is a tourist. Anyone from Chennai? Raise your hands. Okay, I'm coming to Chennai on 2nd of August, Bala. Mannapakkam. There is area called Mannapakkam. Yeah, somewhere there. Okay, so please come to receive me at the airport. Okay, with that board. Welcome, Karan sir. Okay, now understand, the tourist will book the hotel, my dear friends, okay, through MMT. MMT is make my trip. Okay, understand. Now here again, simple. Hotel is giving hotel accommodation service, tourist is giving the tariff. Understand, here on that tariff, which is of let's say 10,000 rupees, GST is let's say 500 rupees. 500 किससे collect करूँ मैं? Whom should I collect it from? Hotel, tourist या फिर MMT? Tell me. Can I collect it from hotel? Can I ask the hotel that hotel, can you pay me GST of 500? Yes, I can. It clearly depends on what kind of hotel am I asking. If it's something like a Taj, Oberoi, Lalit, ITC, beta, do you realize the most expensive suite in Taj is how much? 18 lakh rupees per day. Okay, for that you will get 10,000 acre beta zameen in Chennai. Yes, in that you can own half of Chennai beta. Understand one thing? Yes, very inexpensive, very expensive. Okay, for 1 night they are charging 18 lakh rupees. I don't know what do they have. I actually saw that video. What do they have? Right, they actually have like a big space. One is queen's room, one is king room, one is general room. I'm like, if a couple is checking in, why will they have separate rooms? Why? Then what is the objective? Okay, nonetheless, let's not go there, my dear friends. Okay, private matters. So now, do you think Taj Mahal Hotel has exceeded 20 lakhs? Yes. Do you think they would have got registered themselves? Yes. Do you think now that they can pay tax? Yes. So here, as per 9.1, we will ask the supplier only to pay the tax. But for example, this is not Taj Hotel, this is Hotel Descent from Jab Bhi Met. If someone has seen that, they will get the joke, right? So Hotel Descent is that third grade hotel where the rates keep happening, right? Now I hope you understand, my dear friends, that in case of Hotel Descent, it's a small budget hotel. Government does not expect any compliance, so they will not ask the hotel to pay the tax. And here comes MMT, and we will ask MMT to pay the tax as per 9 subsection 5. Are you getting it, my dear friends? So what did we conclude here? That if the hotel is registered on account of exceeding 20 lakhs, let the hotel pay tax. But if the hotel is not registered, then let MMT pay tax. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Okay, next. The same, my dear friends, the same is for housekeeping service. Instead of MMT, you will have urban clap. Right? So housekeeping service like repairing, carpentering, renovation, all of that, right? So I am, for example, okay, I am a carpenter, guys. I'm a carpenter. I don't underestimate the power of a carpenter, especially those carpenters which are bald. Are you getting it? Yes. Okay. Those who get the joke. Otherwise, you watch Pogo beta. Okay. So those kind of carpenters are extremely talented, Bala. Got it? Yes. Sometimes they are carpenters, sometimes they are engineers, sometimes they are doctors, sometimes they are chartered accountants. Except CA, they are all professions. They know all professions, doctors, right? So now this guy, my dear friends, understand, they are very talented person. They will come home and they will give you all miscellaneous kind of services. So they can easily get registered, Bala. Got it? Their turnover can easily be exceeding 20 lakhs, Bala. Okay? So if the housekeeping person is registered, you ask him to pay the tax. But if he is not registered, you ask the e-commerce operator to pay the tax as per 9 subsection 5. Do you get it, my dear friends? Yes. Why is 9 subsection 5 created? Because you cannot capture neither the supplier nor the recipient under 9.1 or 9.3. You cannot put the charge there, which is why we had to create a separate charge as per 9.5, where we are basically giving the charge of paying tax to the e-commerce operators. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. So I have beautifully concluded this, okay, by saying that, listen boss, when it comes to transportation of passenger service by radio taxi, rickshaw, meter taxi, any other motor vehicle, tax will always be paid by ECO. That means Ola, Uber, Ola, Uber, Ola, Uber, Ola, Uber. But when it comes to, my dear friends, hotel accommodation service and housekeeping service is very simple. If the supplier is registered, supplier will pay the tax. If supplier is not registered, it is the ECO who will pay the tax as per 9.5. Is that very clear? Yes. But if ECO pay tax under section 9.5, my point is, what if that ECO has a physical presence in India? Ask him to pay himself. If he does not have it, ask him to find a representative. If he also does not have that, then you need to specially appoint a person who will pay taxes on behalf of ECO. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes. This is how it will happen. This is how it will happen. Got it? So, give me an example. Chalo, I'll ask you something, chalo.
So I have a doubt.
No, before that, I want you to solve this. Where is charging section? Chalo, help me out with this. Come on, fatapat. Yes. Soumya, tell me. Hotel Lisa. Who will pay tax?
Eco.
Hmm?
E-commerce operator.
Yes. Because the hotel is unregistered, so ECO will pay tax, and in that case, the physical presence is in India, so ECO will only pay tax under section 9.5. Next, Bala, tell me. Bala.
Sir, representative of e-commerce operator. Okay.
Third, Rajvi, tell me.
appoints, he will appoint a person.
Fourth, Soumya. Yes, absolutely correct. ठीक है? Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is this concept very clear? Yes. Rajvi, in case of food delivery apps, for example, Zomato and Swiggy, there is an amendment. They have been included in 9.5 itself of lately, but that amendment is not effective to inter CA. You can easily see that in final CA they've made the relevant amendment. In inter CA they have not given that effect, so we will avoid that. Done. That's it. So here, my dear friends, we have done our bit of charging section. Do you get that? Are you all confident enough? Right? Let's revise it fatavat se and wrap up the session. Come on. Tell me, my dear friends, what have we learned today? Charging section. What have we learned today? Charging! Charging! Everyone unmute yourself. Charging section. Section number 9 of which act? CGST Act. Correct. Okay, fatavat se, let's see. 9 subsection 1, my dear friends. What does 9 subsection 1 say?
Intrastate supply of GST.
Yes. Intrastate supply of goods or services except
Alcoholic liquor
at a rate not exceeding
20%.
where value is determined under section
15.
where a tax is paid by taxable.
Person.
Simple. The charge under 9.5 is on the supplier. Supplier pays tax as per FCM under 9 subsection 1 always. 9.2 में which products have been mentioned?
Petroleum products.
Crude oil,
Petroleum.
petrol,
Fuel,
high speed diesel,
gas, high speed diesel.
ATF and natural gas. Right now they are inside or outside the purview of GST,
Outside.
but on the recommendation of
GST comes in.
they will be included in GST. Okay. 9 subsection 3 reverse charge mechanism. Who will pay tax to government?
Recipient.
As per RCM. As per RCM. Next, 9.5. Who pays tax?
E-commerce operator.
E-commerce operators. Perfect. There are 3 services. First, how will you remember? To understand. To go to hotel, you need a transport, right? Transportation of passenger service. So you will take a taxi or a rickshaw, right? Depending on which hotel you are going. Okay. So you will take that. Then you will enter the hotel and you will do whatever you want to do. And then finally, that once you are done with it, obviously the bed sheet, my dear friends, needs to be replaced. So you will call the housekeeping person. Transportation of passenger service, hotel accommodation, and housekeeping service. These 3 services are covered under 9.5. Tell me, in case of transportation of passenger service, who will pay tax always?
E-commerce operator.
But in case of hotel and housekeeping, if the supplier is registered,
Register the supplier pays tax.
supplier. If the supplier is not registered, then.
E-commerce operator.
And in case of e-commerce operator, if the physical presence is in India, then physical presence. Physical presence in India, then he will only pay, no?
Yes.
He or it, whatever the case may be. If that is not there, then representative.
Appointed representative.
Representative. Physical presence in India, e-commerce operator. Physical presence not there, representative. Representative not there, person appointed by e-commerce operator. Make sure you are very clear. What do you mean by representative? Someone like an, if you want, you write down. Someone like an agent, an employee, subsidiary company, holding company, right? That is your representative. There is some nexus. Agent, employee, any subsidiary company, anything like that. There should be some nexus. And the last is person appointed by ECO. Now this can be any third person. Like Uber can tell me that Karan sir, please pay tax behalf of me. That does not mean I will pay tax from my pocket, idiot. That only means that I will do all the compliances, because at the end of the day, Uber will Understand? Recover the tax from the recipient only, no? So Uber will charge 1050 rupees, where it will give itself 50 and give that 100 rupees to government. Sorry, 100 rupees to the supplier. Okay? That's it. Always remember, in charge of GST, we are focusing on who will pay to government. But understand that whenever the charge is on anyone, supplier, recipient, or the ECO, does not matter. The person who's earned money, the person who's lost money at the end of the day is the recipient, because he's borne the burden of tax. Uska jeb kata hai, his pocket is emptied. Got it? Is there any doubt here? Okay. So here, my dear friends, we put an end to the discussion of charging section, right? Perfect. We will mostly do RCM tomorrow and wrap up RCM with Q&A. So yeah, that's the agenda. Okay. So अच्छे pace पे जा रहे हैं. We are going at a good pace. Don't worry. We will be easily able to cover up things. ठीक है? Okay guys. Okay. ठीक है? That's it. Have a nice weekend. If you have fun.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So there was an MCQ posted on the Telegram channel. The GST is a consumption-based tax, origin-based tax, movement-based tax, or origin-based and consumption-based. So
नहीं
the
तो
correct
it's a consumption based tax, consumption or destination based tax.
Okay.
Always.
And so second, there was another question that which of the taxes are not have been subsumed in GST, and it said basic custom duty levied under say customs duty Act 1962, environment tax. Then there was another one. So I wanted to ask that is environment tax subsumed?
No.
Okay. And so I guess the answer was wrong because it said that the basic custom duty has been subsumed.
You just do one thing. This is a general announcement. Whenever there is an MCQ where you have a doubt or where you feel that you have not understood, just send me the snapshot on the number that I've given on the book. You'll have the book. For show me the book. I forgot to see that. Show me the book, guys. Nice. एक सेकंड यहाँ पे दिखाओ जरा. वहां पे बाला दिखा एक बार. हाँ, iPad.
Mobile, sir.
Mobile.
Mobile, sir. Yes, sir.
But how are you able to write?
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
sir.
I'll take hard copy, sir.
Lovely. Rajvi.
Actually, that water also in my brain, so I won't be able to go out right now.
फटाफट से कर ले, because then I'll start making you write. These are
I have started making notes.
if you, where are you? Are you based in Mumbai?
Yeah, I stay in Vasai.
Okay, if you want, I will just give you a number. You can get it from him. He gets it home delivered.
Okay.
But वो एक आध दिन लगेगा पर फिर भी. Just figure out no यार. It's just about 30 pages. Megar Nisha. Nice. Oh, that's a good photo. पर ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट करवाया आपने बेटा. कलर करवा देते. इसमें भी पैसा बचाया आपने. Here also you are saving money, guys. Okay. Nice. Okay, I'm so happy that you've at least had the courtesy to tell that guy that पहला वाला पेज मत करवाना. Just leave this first page and second page से चालू करवा देना है. सर का क्या करेंगे? Okay. Fair enough. Guys, I just wanted to know that यहाँ पे कितने जन हैं who all are here who are giving it for the first attempt? Who is November 23 is the first attempt? ऐसा कोई है क्या यहाँ पे? Except Sai. No, right? Good. So that I can take up that pace here. I am able to revise things and I am able to understand that this is how like we have, like am I able to put some value addition? Concept clear हो रहा है ना? Main important वो चीज़ है. That is important. Kanishka, where are you from? Which classes did you join earlier?
I did it from an academy earlier.
Oh, nice. Okay. Nikita, आप मुंबई से हो?
नहीं सर, कोलकाता से.
कोलकाता. ओके, तो वहाँ कहाँ से किया था आपने?
सर ऑनलाइन किया था। एक्चुअली क्या हो कि मैंने क्लासेस किए थे, पर मैं
लिए थे पर किए नहीं थे।
नहीं किए थे, पर एग्जाम के पहले सब कुछ नया लगने लग गया।
अरे बाप रे,
Yes,
अरे
sir,
बाप,
same here.
is it? And what about you, Bhavya? Where are you from? You said you are from
Haryana.
Haryana. Haryana? Arey, yes. I guess we've spoken before.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Rajvi, where are you from?
So I'm from Vasai only, but then I did classes actually I did from Lekesha.
Okay.
And that time, you know what happened, and then later on, exactly I took Vivek Kaba's lecture last year, but then I ended up getting only group 2 of CST.
अच्छा ओके, आप तो CS वाले हो, फेयर इनफ, अंडरस्टूड.
So right now actually मेरा vacation चालू है, तो मैंने group 1 का पढ़ाई start कर
पर
दिया.
you, I think you have place of supply and all of that also, huh?
Yes.
So I will be uploading final CA lectures, so watch it from there.
Okay.
Watch it from there. Akshita, where are you from? Is there anything specific that I did not have the time to do orientation with you guys? I would also like to open this forum to just ask, is there anything that you would like to specifically say that sir ये करवा दो, और ये chapter तो आता ही नहीं यार, I don't know this chapter यार, you know, generally this chapter freaks me out. So I just wanted an opinion from that end also. Akshata, where are you from, you said?
Yes, sir.
Sangli, no? Sangli, yeah. Where did you, Sangli में क्या यार, माने I तो thought Sangli में you only do खेती बाड़ी, like only agriculture. What is it like? People study there also?
Yeah. Yes.
Where did you study from? Where did you study from?
I do classes of Kolhapur, EPA, Elite
Okay.
Professional Academy.
Okay,
Online
man.
classes.
Nice. So all of them have taken online classes only, ऐसा है क्या? Most of them? Bala? क्या बात है? Crazy, man. Inter-CA people are also taking online classes. That's a big thing for me. Like, I never knew this because I thought they generally go for like offline thing. But this is crazy. Naina, where are you from, you said?
Sir, Mumbai.
So how did you do it?
JK से.
Okay. तो आप तो ऑफलाइन अटेंड किए होंगे ना आपने?
नहीं सर, ऑनलाइन ही किया था.
ऑनलाइन कैसे? विच अटेम्प्ट?
सर ऑनलाइन ही किया था. वो सारे क्लासेस अटेंड किए थे, सारे सब्जेक्ट्स के.
अच्छा,
पर
भले ऑप्शन था आपके पास जाने का. ओके.
नहीं, मतलब मैंने ना दोनों ग्रुप्स दिए थे, तो लाइक मतलब आई थिंक वो इंडिविजुअल रिविजन थोड़ा कम हो गया, बट ऐसे मैंने सारे
Generally, first attempt is that attempt, guys, where you cannot say that you have done the entire syllabus. Understand? Because the most of the times in the first attempt, if you have not prepared well, especially if it's a May attempt and you've not started studying from November, December, you will find things new when you are hitting for your leaves. So there will be a great chance where even now you must be feeling that यार सर जो सिखा रहे तो नया है यार, you know, या फिर I don't know, या फिर सर जो सिखा रहे यार I am not aware of this, या whatever, like yeah, this is something that I have heard, you know, I have not learned before. So that will happen. And also obviously that I have covered November 23 and May 23 amendments also in this. So what will happen is that obviously that ignorance will just get busted. So good for you in that case. And yeah, keep me in loop if there's any, which is the most difficult topic that you all have found in GST, that you all generally leave on the day of the exam, or you couldn't do it.
Return.
Which one?
E-way
Sai?
bill. Returns and e-way bill, sir.
Okay,
same
fair.
EV bill.
E-way bill. Okay.
Returns and exemptions also.
Exemptions is a big thing. I feel there's a lot of fear for exemptions because it's huge and people feel that यार ये तो होगा ही नहीं last दिन पे. So don't worry, we've covered it in like 4 pages only. And we've covered almost all the exemptions. So be rest assured with that. And yeah.
I would request you to kindly let us know how should we present our answers in the exam.
Yes,
My
yes.
thing was I used to understand everything, but then
I feel this is important. This is important.
also, sir, the
Let's do
question
that. Let's do that. तो RCM है ना, कल हम करेंगे. So understand the first two things, the first two chapters were not that great. Like generally they don't ask questions from that space. From tomorrow onwards, I will start teaching you that, and it's very easy. Trust me, because understand that if you have the rationale to, find a correct answer, you also will have the rationale to write the answer, because there is a specific logic why you gave that answer. You just have to write that. That's it. There's nothing less, nothing more. But we will specifically make sure that you understand this, because a lot of students face this issue, especially if it was their first attempt. Because exam के दिन उनको पता ही नहीं चलता है कि क्या लिखना है, because it's very simple. And most of the time students don't even pay heed to writing mock tests, right? So if you've not, if you've not taken mock tests, then that actual exam becomes your mock test. All right, because then everything is an experiment on that day of the exam, and the anxiety strikes and you screw up. All right, so you don't you worry, we will figure out that. But आप बस क्या है अभी इतना करना कि जो वाइवाज है उसमें क्या है फुल तैयारी करके आना. आज ढीला डाला था. I don't want that kind of an attitude. I want it tip of the tongue. Like, do it, revise it. Make sure that GST is done by the end of July, end of discussion. Simple. We are not going to stretch it further. Pledge that to yourself. That's it. Okay?
Sir, one more thing. Sir, ITC जैसा चैप्टर है ना, उसमें तो प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चंस भी होते हैं ना, टाइम सप्लाई, वैल्यू सप्लाई. वैसे अगर आप एक दो क्लास में करवा दोगे ना,
एक दो क्या मैं करवाऊँ? अरे 3-4 करवाऊंगा बेटा, तू टेंशन मत ले. हाँ, अरे I'll tell you, payment of tax, ITC, exemptions, value of supply, और एक दो important questions जो है टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई के वो, right? And is there anything else? Mixed bag questions, जहाँ पे the entire, like the first 8 marker जो आता है ना अपना, right? That we will solve all of that. Don't worry, because I know that maximum students fail in terms of understanding how to write them or interpret them when they see the paper. And I want to, my entire objective is that you are not fearful when you see that question. You should be damn confident on the day of the exam that the first thing that I'm bloody attempting is IDT and I'm bloody going to score 40 on 40. When you go with that confidence, you will be like, you can easily even score 30 marks out of 16 DT. That's how you get an exemption. And understand one thing very clearly, tax is going to be difficult in this attempt. So be ready for it, because it was, understand, any student that I'm asking my marks, forget about students who have secured ranks. तो मेरा जो नॉन रैंकर बच्चा भी है, even that is like, when I ask him tax का marks, he's like 75, 80, someone is saying 85. I'm like, what the hell? तो DT में तो टैक्सेशन में मार्क्स बांटे, तूने उठाए नहीं, वो अलग बात है. It's a different thing, right? But people, because DT was damn easy this time, and if not anything else, you should have scored a perfect exemption in this attempt. But ठीक है, what I would like to say is that never think something like this, that okay, this attempt had fantastic results, so even this fantastic results I have failed. So now when the paper will be tougher and the result percentage will also go down, which it will go down in the next attempt, right? How will I pass in that space? Never think that, because I have failed in 25% result and I have passed in 3% in my final C exams. So I have failed in an attempt where every next person had passed, all my friends, and I have passed where every next person has failed. तो एक चीज हमेशा याद रखना, always remember one thing, your passing has nothing to do with the total passing percentage. It has only to do with your preparation. So focus on that because you can only control that, right? And don't take this lightly. Okay, I'll tell you something. So there were like 100 students up, just like yesterday, there were 100 students who had joined, right? But in the Hindi wala batch that I just completed a day before, right? And there were like good 30 students who stuck around, right, on Zoom, and there were like 20 students on YouTube Live. They just stuck around. They were there every day. I used to put, they used to come religiously, follow, do the homework, give me vivas. They are confident that their GST is sorted. And I want you to be in that 30. Don't leave it haphazardly, and don't even think that you will have the time to see the recorded version of this. No, don't train your mind with that. If you are, unless and until you are extremely okay seeing recording, so there is no point attending live. So the reason I'm taking live is so that I can take you through things. There is a sense of interaction. I keep taking your names, right? For example, Bhavya was sleeping today, so I will not shout at her because a student, I don't know when she is woken up today. She might have woken up at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and I'm taking class in afternoon after she's had lunch. And उसमें भी अगर उन्होंने छाछ वाछ पिया होगा, बटर मिल्क पिया होगा, तो obviously यार she will tend to sleep. So that will happen. But my point is to wake her up, which I did, right? So I will give you that space where I will make you aware of where you are going wrong, where you are going right. So be with me. That's it. That's my request. And that's it. Yeah, I feel it will be sorted. Don't worry. And kuch nahi hoga. Just give all your best and give all your best to this subject, and make sure that you clear this once and for all. And then directly take it in October when I will be taking marathon. So wahan pe in one day we will revise the entire GST. So focus it that way. This is how I will cater to GST at least. Because you cannot give more time to subject just because you like or you know how to solve it. You have to give more time to direct tax because that will eventually help you get an exemption. Okay? That's it, I guess. Okay, बस एक छोटा सा रिक्वेस्ट है यार, सब्सक्राइब और कर दो यार, और कमेंट कर दो, लाइक कर दो, बहुत हेल्प हो जाएगा. ठीक है, प्लीज. ठीक, थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू. Okay, guys, please subscribe and please comment, guys. Badrul, Sneha, Mathia, it will be of great help to me. It means the world to me, guys. It means the world to me. Please make sure that you do it. And yeah, thanks a lot.